Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to my new video where we're going to be going over a bit of theory. We're going to be going over the least accurate E's to the most accurate E's that you can throw out. Please remember, if you like this kind of content, hit the like button, as well as check out my playlist. I have a playlist all set up called Educational Swain Playlist, where I go over just all the theory behind Swain and try and pass on as much game knowledge to you guys in those videos as possible. So, with all that out of the way, let's get right into it. The first and least accurate E you can possibly throw out when playing Swain is just a max range E from non-Fog of War, and then throwing out a max range E from Fog of War is going to be a little bit more accurate because it might catch them off guard a little bit more. And then we start getting a little bit closer and we start using minions to bloom the E effect, and that will make the E a little bit more accurate because people don't understand that it can increase the range of the E route when they are around minions. Next up, we have the W, and this is the really important point that I wanted to start going over when you are playing Swain, and the ability to zone people with a W. You always want to make sure that you are putting it in the way that you are guessing they are going to move. So if they are a hyper defensive player, they most likely are going to be walking back. So you want to put the W a little bit behind them, but not so far behind them where it's easy to tell and they can just move to the right or the left and then back. So doing a W to zone and then throwing out an E is going to be a very effective way. Now, obviously, it isn't really the best combo that you can throw out is an E into a W and then pull the dummy into the W. That is just a really nice combo, but if you're unable to land E's, using the W as a zoning device into an E can be a great way to set up, particularly when you have ganks. Now, a even higher and probably the highest chance of landing an E is when an enemy champion is against a wall, so they're unable to dodge to that side. You put a W that is not too far behind them, depending on their movement speed. That is how you kind of want to make it a little bit centered about right there, and then throw out an E that is a little bit to the right. It is a little bit just taking advantage of the dead space to the left, and they are going to have a very, very tough time getting out of this situation. Now, the way to dodge this is to go up, crowd the Swain, and then turn right. But that's going to spend a lot of time, waste a lot of time to allow your allies to close the distance. So how you want to take advantage of this is when there is a gank and you want to have the most accurate E as possible, is you want to throw out the W and then auto. This is going to give you a really good understanding of where they want to move. They see an animation coming out of the Swain. They don't know exactly what it is yet, so they are going to try to react as quickly as possible. If they try and crowd you, they're going to be looking to over dodge, and that's where you look to punish with the Q, and do not use your E until they start running away, and that is when you can really start doing some damage to them. So again, the most accurate E you can throw out is a W behind. Look the way that they are going to be dodging with your autos, and then throwing out an E in the way that you think that they are going to move is going to just be a really, really strong way. Now, a very easy way to harass champions under turret, particularly when they are CSing, is if they ever go on this side of the turret, this should just automatically cue you to look to harass them. You should be throwing a W behind them and then throwing out your E and looking to harass from that range, because they can't dodge to the left or the right. You just throw a little bit behind them, and then they're going to get into your E range while you're still not in the tower range, and you're going to be able to punish them with damage. Now, a very similar concept is going to be when they are CSing from right here. This is the most common way that the enemy is going to dodge, is going to be the right, because they think the further they can get behind the tower, the better. So throwing a W here, and then angling it a little bit to the right, because that is generally where most champions are, where most players are going to dodge, is going to be the best way of playing out that situation. So always look to consistently harass and using your W as a zoning tool. Now, a very great way also to get picks when you are playing bot lane or even mid lane or in your roaming is to just look to gank your own lane. Just maybe feign to either feign a roam when you're support and go up here, or to just walk through this bush here, clearing out wards. And then what you're going to look to do is the ADCs are most likely going to be a CSing because they think you're doing something else, and then you put a W zone behind them, and then you close the distance and get into a great spot to throw out an E. This is a very, very underutilized thing that you can do on Swain, because you're able to extend your pick range so much with your W, giving a zoning tool into an E. And then obviously we would be doing the same thing when we are looking to gank mid. We'd be looking to throw a W behind and then hitting them with the E that way. So always look to do it in this way. So when you are walking, your W will stop your walk animation. So how you want to do it is this: right before you get out of the bush, you want to do the W animation, and then you're closing the distance with your E. You do not want to be walking at them and then using the dead time. If you walk at them and you're throwing out your W, it's going to stop your walk completely, and it's going to limit your ability to close the distance if you have to stop to cast a ability like that. So you don't want to be doing it as much as possible. Throwing out your W from the bush is going to be the most effective way to get out these ganks on your own lane or on the roams. You always want to look to use your W as a zoning tool in these ways. And then obviously, if you don't get anything out of this video outside of this, is always look to punish enemies when they're against the walls with your W zone into E, and then particularly when they are unable to move to the left or the right. This is the absolute stupidest place to stand in League of Legends, in my opinion, and you just throw the W a little bit behind them and then hit them with a super free E that they are going to be looking to dodge out on, but they just do not have too many options. That's going to wrap up my video, guys. If you enjoy these kind of shorter videos that go over theory, let me know in the comments down below. And as always, take it easy.